Now, the first tip I'd like to give for good storytelling, and these are, well, not tips, more like tools that I end up using. The first one would definitely be to keep people invested. Now, that's a given, that's understood. You obviously have to keep your audience invested no matter what the duration of your story is. But how do you do that? I feel for a storyteller, when you're doing it solo, when you're standing and addressing people, you do it by keeping one central theme or character. Now, I know all of us like to tell stories that involve a lot of characters and a lot of situations, but the more you dilute the plot, the more you end up thinning the interest of your audience. So keep it central. One central character, one central theme, that's how you go. Now, everybody likes a winner, but more than that, an audience likes a person who falls and then gets up. So keep them invested, one central theme, make sure there's some conflict where the central character falls and then gets up. That's when you have people rooting for you, they have people rooting for your story and your characters. The next one I would say is you have to use your body as a tool. Now, if you're a musician, for example, you have your guitar, or you have your mic because you're your vocals, or you have your drums, or you're the horn section. But when you're telling a story, all you have is sometimes not even a microphone, but just you. So you are the tool. Now, you can't be using the stage because you have to stand sometimes with just a mic and you're in a small situation, so you can't run around, you can't use the stage as much. What is the one thing that you can guaranteed use no matter what the situation is? Your own body. So whether it comes to your expressions, bobbing your head a little bit, expressions of your face, your hands, the way they move, but also there has to be some sort of economy in the movement. So don't go crazy. Nobody goes crazy on the drums, nobody likes that, nobody likes the din. You want to make sure that there's economy of movement. You don't want to look like a break dancer who's being electrocuted. So keep that in mind. Economy of movement and using the tool or the instrument, that's your body, to connect with your audience. Not actually, you don't actually connect your body with the audience. It's, you know what I mean. The other thing is, a lot of times I think eyeballing is very important. You find each person in the audience and you keep shifting your gaze. That does two things. One is it wakes people up. Immediately when you look at somebody like this, or you look at somebody like that, it sort of wakes them up and it connects them to you. It's the most primal sort of physical connection two people can have is when they eyeball. So they're looking at you anyway. You may be drifting away because their attention span is not as much. Young people, their attention span is not much. But as soon as you eyeball them, you connect with them. That's one. Secondly, a lot of times I notice storytellers tend to look into the distance. It's nice to use as a tool, but if you keep looking into the distance, that's what you will put between you and the audience, distance. So use that tool, but just as a breakaway from eyeballing the audience. The more people you can connect with in the audience on a one-to-one basis, the more people you will connect your story with on a one-to-one basis. Eyeballing. The most important thing, sincerity. Now, one thing a storyteller cannot do is feign sincerity. You can't. You can't fake it. People will tell. People can tell instantly. Now, one way to ensure that is to make sure that the story you're telling is personal, because when it's a personal story, when the character is you and it's your situations, you will end up being sincere by default. So very important is sincerity. Now, I feel that sincerity is important not only in fact, also in fiction. Now, don't confuse sincerity with truth or lying, because fiction is essentially lying. You're lying. But even when you lie, you do it with an amount of sincerity, because if there's no sincerity, there's no audience.